Hey guys, today let's talk about the headlock self-defense. Okay, this is one of those moves that everybody should know and that people probably rarely practice because it doesn't come up a lot in a class setting with other jiu-jitsu guys. But headlocks are incredibly common in altercations with civilians, let's call them. Untrained people. I bet a lot of you could tell me about how before you started doing jiu-jitsu, every fight you got into, you either put somebody in a headlock or ended up in a headlock. So we really ought to know how to defend the headlock. Today we're going to talk about the first technique that we usually teach in the series, which is guy puts me in a headlock when we're standing and I manage to maintain my posture. Okay, when this happens, what I see a lot of people doing is stepping into base. This is good. And then what a lot of people do is they put their hip into the guy's hip and they reach their head up like this. And now when the guy is pulling with his arms and he's pushing with his hips, I can maintain this, but it's work to do this, okay? It's a lot different than when the guy pulls and I just come here. Pull, take me down. I just stay very tight to the guy. I let my chest come in like this. If I think of this as sort of the, like we're sticking a piece of paper to a wall with a thumbtack and then we let the paper go and it just finds its own plumb line. Okay, here's the thumbtack. Dude, he pulls, here, great. I'm not pushing, I'm not pulling, I'm just here. I'm snug. And my life is now easy. He can hold on and he can squeeze as tight as he wants, but break me down, I'm going nowhere. Okay, at the same time that I do this, it's of course important that I protect my neck. The way I protect my neck is with my shoulders, okay? So the first thing I'm thinking about is, what do I feel with his wrist and how do I push on that with my actual shoulders here, okay? So, the guy puts me in a headlock, boom, squeeze, bring me down. Life is pretty good for me here. Okay, from here, what we're thinking about, where are we going to take this guy? Okay, we have sort of a few different options. One, the guy can let go because nothing's happening, which is great. Two, the guy can try to punch. We have another technique for this. Or three, the guy hangs on and now we have different things that are going to maybe happen, okay? That we can provoke to have happen, okay? So what we're looking for is a disruption of the relationship between the guy's hips, his shoulders and his hips. So if the guy starts to tip this way, we have one thing. If the guy starts to tip this way, we have another thing. Okay? So the way we're going to start to determine which way this goes is with our hand here. Okay? My hand is going to push on his jaw, starting to turn his face and move his head over there. Okay? At this point, if his head goes, his shoulders are going to go. If his shoulders go, I can keep them going and I'm going to give him some hip here. Okay? So, again, the guy makes the headlock. I shrug my shoulders. I find my plumb line. Squeeze, bring me down. Here. Hand comes here. If I just push on his head, I get nowhere. But if I extend, roll his face, and then push away, now shoulder and hip. Here. At this point, I'm going to keep pressure heavy down as I spin my guy. And here's my guillotine. Okay? But you can see in this technique how Jason's upper body starts to go. The relationship between his hips and his shoulders starts to do this. Okay? So once I'm here, pressure, 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 shoulder, hip. Here. Okay? And again, it's hard to do this while I talk, but here, I don't feel any pressure on my neck. Now my hips, my hand gives his hip a little goose. I steer him around, hips into the guillotine. Situation number two, the guy resists this. He does not like this. He keeps his head close to my head. So here, He grabs my head, I plumb line, I shrug. I come like this, but the guy is leaning in. Great. From here, very easy. Okay? I can give a little bit more work to this, right? If we're here, for example, and the guy's, but I'm not put under, I just walk. So now you see the guy's hips and shoulders do this, and I encourage them. Okay? Most people do this. But you see how Jason is here over his own column? I'm way over here. I'm trying to lift a weight that's out in front of me. He's very, very heavy. I'm not trying to do this. This is a variation on Sukui Nagi. It's a scooping throw. He's holding me. My hips are in underneath him. And as he leans his shoulders over my shoulders, now it's just a matter of turning him. But he's light. He's pivoting on this axis that he created. Now I've dropped him down. If he's still hanging on, obviously I go into my mount. My modified mount, break the grip, all these things. If not, then I just pancake him and let this grip. Okay? So, as I do these two techniques, again, pay attention to the relationship between his heart and the knot of his belt, right? These two indicators. I'm here, I plumb line. Notice my heart and my knot on my belt. Okay? I'm not here, I'm not here. I'm just in line. Squeeze. I have no problems. Here, I'm forward to roll and pushing that way to turn. As his heart and his knot of his belt start to go off the line, this is where my life starts to get easy. Goose around. Wrap the neck. Sharp part of the forearm. Head is in my armpit. Wrist comes past. It's not a video about the guillotine, but you see. Now, here, I go, but look, he's keeping his head very close, or maybe I got my hand, but he starts to push. So all I do, this is just a guide. Here. Down we go. Okay? It's really important that we all have good headlock defense. We think of ourselves as grapplers. Most people you fight, if you get into grappling with them and they have either no training or wrestling background, they are going to put you in a headlock. If you think of yourself as a skilled grappler and you don't have high level of dealing with headlock, that's not really cool. That's a big problem. Okay? And this is why I teach all my guys the headlock, right? The headlock can be a powerful tool. Ask any wrestler. It's a powerful tool. It's not necessarily a great way to choke a guy, and it's not necessarily a great way to hold a guy if I want to transition into another position, but it's a powerful hold. So I want to understand it, but more than that, I want to have all my guys putting each other in headlocks, that they really mean it, so that people are defending headlocks all the time. Okay, so they get practice against, no, I'm going to really hold you. They said, no, okay, I got my defense, everything's great. Okay, so I encourage you all to make sure, I know like, if you love doing Jiu-Jitsu and grappling and rolling around on the ground, and the core curriculum, the self-defense isn't your favorite thing, it's not really what you're here for, okay, fine. You don't want to do all the grabs and the weapons and stuff, I get it. But I really would encourage you, just take those dozen or so headlock defenses on the feet and on the ground and make sure you're working those in, right? Because those are so basic, so fundamental, so important. And they do teach you a lot about, engaging with a resistant opponent who's just purely resistant, right? Unlike, maybe my jiu-jitsu partners, we have a little bit more of a back and forth that we're used to, okay? So, give it a try, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.